Here's something that most authors don't realize: 67% of English language book readers live outside the United States and United Kingdom. Think about that for a moment. If you're only marketing to US readers, you're potentially missing two-thirds of your audience. Research shows that successful indie authors who expand internationally see an average revenue increase of 40 to 60%, yet fewer than 20% actively market beyond their home country. The pattern is striking. Authors work incredibly hard to reach readers in their local market, running promotions, building email lists, connecting on social media, but they completely overlook the fact that there are millions of eager English language readers in Australia, Canada, India, South Africa, and across Europe who would love to discover their books. The difference isn't about translation or creating new content. It's about understanding that global reach doesn't require global complexity. So today, we're diving deep into how authors are successfully expanding beyond their home markets, reaching international readers, and building truly global author platforms. And if you find this analysis helpful, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. We're building a community focused on understanding what actually works in publishing, and your support helps us continue this research. When we talk about international markets, most authors immediately think about translation. But the opportunity in English language markets alone is massive and often completely overlooked. The data shows that there are over 1.5 billion English speakers worldwide, and the majority of them don't live in the US or UK. Let's break down what this actually means. Australia and New Zealand represent a combined market of about 30 million people with exceptionally high reading rates. Studies show that Australians read an average of 12 books per year, which is higher than the US average. Canada adds another 38 million people, with particularly strong markets in urban centers like Toronto, Vancouver, and Montreal. Then there's India, where over 125 million people speak English, creating a rapidly growing digital reading market. What's fascinating is how genre preferences vary by region. Romance performs exceptionally well in Australia. Thrillers and crime fiction dominate in the UK and Nordic countries. Literary fiction sees strong engagement in Canada and parts of Europe. Understanding these preferences isn't just interesting, it's actionable intelligence that can inform where you focus your international marketing efforts. The digital versus print equation also shifts dramatically by region. In India, over 85% of English language book purchases are digital. In Germany and France, despite being non-English primary markets, there are significant English reading populations that strongly prefer ebooks. Australia has embraced digital reading faster than many other developed markets. Case studies reveal that authors who optimize their digital presence for international discoverability often see Australia or Canada emerge as their second or third largest market within months. Expanding internationally isn't just about making your book available in more Amazon marketplaces. Research into successful international campaigns shows that cultural sensitivity and market adaptation make the difference between books that gain traction and those that are simply listed but never discovered. Cultural context matters more than most authors realize. What works as a compelling book description in the US might fall flat or even offend in other markets. Humor, references, and even cover design conventions vary significantly. Studies of international bestseller lists show that while the core story remains the same, successful authors adapt their marketing messaging to resonate with local cultural contexts. Visual presentation is particularly important. Color psychology differs across cultures. Red signals excitement and passion in Western markets, but can indicate danger or have political connotations in other regions. White represents purity in Western cultures but is associated with mourning in some Asian contexts. Data from international marketing campaigns shows that authors who test different cover variations for different markets see measurably better conversion rates. Religious and social considerations also come into play. Content that is perfectly acceptable in one market might be controversial in another. This doesn't mean censoring your work, but it does mean being thoughtful about how you position and market it. Successful international authors understand their content and target markets well enough to navigate these considerations professionally. The evidence shows that avoiding cultural missteps isn't about being overly cautious, it's about being informed. Simple research into local customs, current events, and cultural sensitivities can prevent marketing campaigns that inadvertently alienate the exact readers you're trying to reach. Distribution strategy becomes more complex when thinking globally, but the opportunity is substantial. Amazon's international marketplace system creates both opportunities and challenges that successful authors learn to navigate strategically. Amazon operates separate marketplaces for the US, UK, Canada, Australia, Germany, France, Spain, Italy, Japan, Brazil, Mexico, India, and the Netherlands. The critical insight here is that books don't automatically appear in all marketplaces just because you publish to one. Research shows that authors who proactively enroll in Amazon's expanded distribution and manually verify their presence in key international marketplaces see significantly higher international sales. Here's where platform strategy gets interesting. While Amazon dominates in most English language markets, regional alternatives matter. Kobo has strong market share in Canada and parts of Europe. Google Playbooks performs well in India and Southeast Asia. Apple Books maintains loyal user bases in premium markets like Australia and the UK. Data indicates that authors who distribute through aggregators like Draft2Digital or Publish Drive to reach these platforms see their international readership diversify beyond Amazon-only readers. Print on demand adds another layer of complexity and opportunity. Amazon's print network now serves multiple countries, but understanding where they print locally versus ship internationally affects both cost and delivery time. Authors who optimize their print distribution settings report that understanding these logistics dramatically improves international print sales, particularly in Australia and Canada, where shipping costs from the US can be prohibitive. And this is where tools like MINS become valuable for international strategy. When authors create promotional materials for international book events or partnerships, they need QR codes that can be updated as they test different markets. A printed bookmark created for an Australian Readers' Convention can have the same QR code design, but that code can be updated to point to region-specific landing pages, Australian marketplace links, or time-limited promotions without reprinting materials for each market test. The data on international social media strategy is clear. Platform preferences vary dramatically by country, and successful international marketing means meeting readers where they already are. Facebook still dominates in Australia and parts of Europe, while Instagram performs better for reaching Canadian readers. Twitter, now X, maintains strong literary communities in the UK and India. Understanding these preferences isn't about maintaining separate profiles everywhere, it's about knowing where to focus your energy. Time zone considerations matter more than most authors account for. Research into social media engagement patterns shows that posting when your target international audience is actually awake and active can triple engagement rates. An author targeting Australian readers who posts at convenient US times is essentially marketing while their audience sleeps. Successful international authors use scheduling tools to optimize posting times for their priority markets. Local influencer and blogger outreach represents an underutilized opportunity. Every major English reading market has its own ecosystem of book bloggers, booktubers, bookstagrammers, and booktokers who have dedicated local followings. Case studies show that an author who gets featured by popular Australian book influencers can see their Australian sales jump 200 to 300%, often surpassing their home market temporarily. Language adaptation, even within English, makes a measurable difference. Successful authors understand that favorite versus favorite, color versus color, and dozens of other spelling and word choice differences signal to international readers whether content was created with them in mind. Marketing materials that use region appropriate language conventions see higher engagement and conversion in those markets. Holiday and cultural event marketing opens doors that many authors miss entirely. Boxing Day matters in Commonwealth countries. Australia Day, Canada Day, Indian Independence Day. These are opportunities for region specific promotions that show you understand and value readers in those markets. Analytics from successful international campaigns consistently show that culturally relevant promotions outperform generic sales. International pricing strategy is where many authors inadvertently leave money on the table or price themselves out of markets entirely. The research here is fascinating because it reveals how much pricing psychology varies by market and economic context. Currency conversion seems straightforward, but it rarely is. A book priced at $4.99 in the US doesn't automatically become CAD $6.99 or AUD $7.99 through simple conversion. Successful authors study bestseller lists in each market to understand local pricing conventions. Data shows that certain price points perform better in specific markets. Australian readers show different price sensitivity than Canadian readers, who differ from UK readers. Regional economic factors play a significant role. A price point that seems reasonable for readers in Australia or Canada might be prohibitive in India or parts of Southeast Asia. Yet research also shows that pricing too low can signal lower quality in premium markets. The authors who succeed internationally are those who treat pricing as market specific, rather than using a one size fits all conversion approach. Competitive pricing analysis becomes crucial. What are similar books in your genre actually selling for in each market? Amazon's bestseller lists are searchable by marketplace, providing real time competitive intelligence. Studies of pricing strategy show that authors who research and match local market pricing conventions see better sales velocity than those who simply let automated systems set prices. Tax and legal considerations add complexity that authors need to understand. VAT in European markets, GST in Australia and India, different royalty structures by marketplace, these factors affect your actual take home revenue. Professional international authors account for these differences in their overall strategy rather than being surprised by them later. Creating an international reader community requires intentionality, but the payoff extends far beyond sales. Research into long term author success shows that authors with engaged international communities have more stable careers and greater resilience to market fluctuations in any single region. The challenge is making international readers feel genuinely included rather than like an afterthought. Simple actions make significant differences. When authors acknowledge readers from different countries in newsletters, social media posts, or reader acknowledgments, international readers notice and appreciate it. Studies of reader engagement show that feeling recognized and valued correlates directly with higher lifetime reader value. Managing time zones for engagement creates challenges, but successful authors turn this into an opportunity. Running Q&A sessions or live events at times that accommodate different regions shows international readers they matter. Some authors rotate timing so that over several events, readers across different time zones all get opportunities to participate live. International book clubs and reading groups represent powerful community building opportunities. Platforms like Goodreads, Storygraph, and specialized Facebook groups host readers from around the world. Authors who actively engage with international reading communities rather than focusing only on local connections see their international sales grow organically through authentic word of mouth. Global collaboration opportunities emerge when authors build international networks. Co-promotion with authors popular in different markets, participation in international virtual book events, and cross-border reader engagement initiatives all become possible. Case studies reveal that authors who approach international expansion as community building rather than just market expansion see better long-term results. For authors serious about building global reach with professional tools, this is exactly where MINS adds value. When you create materials for international collaborations or events, you need promotional infrastructure that works long term. Dynamic QR codes that can be updated let you create professional business cards, bookmarks, and promotional materials that work across all your markets. Print them once with a destination to your main author site, then update them to point to region specific campaigns, Australian marketplace links for Australian events, Canadian landing pages for Canadian promotions, all without reprinting anything. The evidence is overwhelming. International English language markets represent a massive opportunity that most authors completely overlook. The barrier isn't translation or creating new content, it's simply awareness, strategy, and consistent effort. Start with the easiest wins. Verify your books are available in Amazon UK, Amazon Australia, and Amazon Canada. Optimize your book descriptions and metadata for international discoverability. Research pricing in your priority markets and adjust accordingly. These actions alone can increase your international sales significantly. If you found this analysis helpful, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. We put out new content every week analyzing what actually works in publishing, and your support enables this research to continue. Drop a comment below and tell us, what international market are you most interested in reaching, and what's holding you back from focusing there? We read every comment and would love to hear your insights. And if you're an author serious about building a global presence with professional marketing materials that work across all your markets, check out MINS. Dynamic QR codes mean you create your promotional materials once and update where they point as you expand into new regions and test different international strategies. There's a free trial link in the description below. The data is clear. English language readers around the world are looking for great books to read. They're just not finding yours yet because you're not actively helping them discover you. That changes when you start thinking globally. We'll see you in the next video.